Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy to welcome you to the DID Academy. We're delighted to have you with us to join us for what I think is going to be a really enlightening and maybe sometimes emotional webinar. My name is Ron Friedman, and I'm the head of content and creative marketing at DID. Today's webinar is all about using DID avatars and generative AI in general to do good in the world. Specifically, as the title notes, it's about giving a voice to those who can't speak for themselves, and we'll be focusing on people with degenerative diseases that were robbed from their ability to speak, particularly ALS. I have a real privilege to be joined today by four incredibly smart, caring, enterprising women who are gracious enough to grant us of their time and their insights. So I want to quickly kind of go around the panel, introduce, say hi. So Shiran, say hello. Shiran Milamdovsky-Somach. She's the founder of AI for Good and head of social impact here at DID.
Thank you, Ron, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm privileged and we're looking for share my insights of how we are leveraging the Gen AI technology to improve people's lives in a different domain. And of course, today we're going to focus on people with disabilities. So thank you all for joining us today.
Thanks, Shiran. Next up, I'd like to introduce Efrat Karmi, CEO of Israel ALS. That's Israel's ALS Association, who we've been working with for several months now. Hi, Efrat.
Almost a year now. Hi everybody, and thank you. I'm very, very happy and excited to be here. It's going to be, I think, an emotional and happy webinar. So I'm happy and privileged to be here. Thank you.
Great. Next up, we're introducing Sarah Feldman from the Philadelphia MDS ALS Center for Hope. Tons of experience working with people who live with some of these heartbreaking diseases and their families. Hi, Sarah.
I'll say good morning from Philadelphia. Yes, hello. I'm Sarah Feldman. I'm the physical therapist and assistive technology professional at the MDA ALS Center of Hope at Temple University, which is in Philadelphia. And I look forward to this presentation today and just learning more and sharing more. And thank you for this opportunity.
Pleasure to have you. And last but not least, LaVon Roberts. She's the CEO of Scott Morgan Foundation USA. We've really gotten to know in the last few weeks and planning on doing some amazing stuff together in the future. Hi, LaVon, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, and lovely to be here with so many amazing women and you, Ron.
Excellent. So before we dive in kind of to the subject at hand, I wanted to spend a few minutes just introducing you to DID, the products we offer, so you can also get a better idea of what our capabilities are and how they can be used for overcoming some of these communication challenges. So at its core, DID's capabilities are in the world of AI video generation. We use AI to generate new video frames of people's faces. They can be based on photos, they can be based on videos, and we match them to either written or recorded scripts. We were originally founded in 2017 as a cybersecurity company. And then around 2021, so almost 5 years or almost 4 years ago already, we entered the video generation space kind of together with this generative AI boom, leveraging our previous expertise in kind of the human face to create avatars. And we've grown pretty substantially since then, raised, as you can see, a few tens of millions of dollars of funding from international venture capital firms, and have more than doubled in size and headcount and kind of clientele. We have two primary solutions. So one, as you see on the top, AI videos. So they're easy to create AI avatars to help make video content more engaging. These can be either image-based or video-based. Users can select from our bank of pre-existing avatars, or upload an image or of a face and turn that into a talking avatar. And as of this week, really, we have some new products, exciting, the ability to add a few minutes of to upload a few minutes of video and turn that into kind of high fidelity, personalized avatar. We'll be seeing examples of that as we go along. The other solution is what we call agents. So these are real-time talking avatars. They're interactive. They can engage in conversations on behalf of the people who created them and based on kind of the user's definition. So they're connected to large language models and can pull information from a knowledge base that the user provides. And it means that you can create and share smart interactive avatars that are tailored for the particular use case and can speak to other people on behalf of a business, on behalf of an organization, anybody who chooses them. These are mostly used for now in customer experience, educational context, a bit of as we'll see, also awareness, education. And quickly, for those that are more technically inclined, we also have an API, provides more flexibility, control of the avatars. It allows developers to build applications of their own using our core technologies. And if you want to know more about our tech, we have a blog post, a blog with tons of information, a resource center, including past recordings of webinars. This webinar is also being recorded, and we'll be uploading this there. And there you can kind of dive deep into all our technical solutions, all the use cases, kind of more the business side of DID, and just some bragging rights here. These are some awards that we won over the years. Particularly proud just this year to receive the first QB Award from Harvard School of Design, and also a bunch of Muse Awards for creative design work, and also for some of our AI for good products or projects that Shiran will be talking a bit more enough. But that's it. That's enough for me for the moment. I want to kind of let our guests speak about themselves, introduce you to their work, and let's start again with Shiran.
Thank you, Ron. So as you probably saw, DID is a regular commercial company, right? But with amazing products based on Gen AI. But thanks to their unique DNA, so together we are working very hard to leverage this technology to address severe social issues on a different domain, from domestic violence, human trafficking, education, Holocaust commemoration, and improve people with disabilities life. So thank you for your partnership, Ron and DID. Now, as you're probably familiar with a dual nature of the Gen AI technology. So from one hand, if it's going to be in the wrong hand for the misuse, it's like a nuclear energy. So it can be used for creating atomic weapon. On the middle aspect, in a neutral way, it can be used for increased efficiency, right? And make our better version of ourselves or our product. But in the other end, it's also, if you use it in proactive way, it can be like a superpower in improving people's lives and even save lives. So we found out that if you use the technology in professional, in sensitive, ethical, and creative way, we can increase engagement, awareness that lead to emotion, and even to action, really can affect people. Next slide. Now I'd like to share with you some of the product and the achievement we have so far. So until this project, 2.5 years ago, I had a regular job, regular day job. And 3.5 years ago, I experienced firsthand the power of the technology. And it changed my life. And now I want to share it with you. So in this project that I led, it was a campaign against domestic violence. And here we brought virtually 5 diverse women to life and let them tell their children's stories from their own mouths. And this project was a huge success with 10 million views in 3 days, in a very high engagement rate, and we even succeeded to save lives. So only while the campaign was running, we have many click on the hotline numbers and the risk assessment questionnaire. To the next slide.
Should we play the video?
Yes. Okay. So as one mentioned before, it's a trigger warning. We're going to talk a bit about content.
I was Michal Sela.
But again, just a second one.
2019,
Introduction.
murdered by the man who was my husband.
Sorry. So I want to introduce you to Michal Sela. Her case is one of the most famous but also infamous cases in Israel. Michal was 32 years old. She came from a loving family. She was beloved. She had many friends. She was a qualified social worker. However, 5 years ago, her husband stabbed her to death in front of the 8-month-old baby daughter. And for a family and close friends, this murder was a completely shock. And now I want you to hear what Michal has to say. Now you can play the
I
video.
was Michal Sela. In 2019, I was murdered by the man who was my husband, the killer, Eliran Malul. And today, after I lost my life, I call on you. Listen to my voice. If you are in a relationship or were in a relationship and he is jealous and obsessive towards you, if you are afraid of his reaction to parting from you, share with a close person and a domestic violence expert who will help you separate safely and return to your light. Listen to your gut feeling. Do it today. Listen to my voice. Listen to your voice.
Amazing.
And yeah, somebody's asking on the chat, one picture is enough to create a video like that.
Yes.
Back to you, Shion.
So we've been everywhere. It went very viral. We've been in the national news, all TV channels, in local and globally. We won international awards. Also, we were featured and presented on stages like NATO, the UN and Parliament around the world. Next slide. So as I told you, since then, after I saw the power of this technology, I decided that this is what I want to do for a living. So we did more projects. Here is collaboration with the March of the Living. We took straight from the pages of the history 10 heroes, men and women, and let them tell their own stories from their own mouths in their own words. And we presented it in the main ceremony on the March of the Living in front of teenagers from all over the world, world leaders, and it's also were broadcast from the leading outlets, the media outlets. And here we have time for a very short glimpse, where we're going to see it now.
The day before the outbreak of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, the square and the streets of the ghetto were empty and abandoned. People preparing to go underground.
When the day dawned, I saw the thousands of Germans surrounding the ghetto.
Actually, we have no time, so we need to skip to the next slide.
There we stood opposite them.
But you can skip to the next slide.
Men and women. Each one had a revolver.
Next slide.
The day before the outbreak of
Next slide. Thank you. We had another education application for students. And when we did the pilot, we saw the impact in both phases, one educational and the other one on the emotional side as well. Next slide. We had a project about missing people. We reinvent the poster of the missing and add the element of the AI where we animate the face of the missing children, and we promote it around billboards across London. With the immediate impact we saw, it's increase of 170% in the website traffic, and also we won awards in this project. Another interesting project here, we did animated chatbot supporting women suffering from abuse all over the world in different languages. And we will collaborate with Microsoft. They contributed the infrastructure for the project as Azure and AI services. DAD, they contributed the AI for the animation. Spring Act is the NGO that developed the chatbot, and the UN Women that assist us to spread the word of this project and make this life-saving information more accessible to women. Next. And one of the latest projects that we had is about human trafficking. Here we did exactly the opposite what we did in Listen to My Voice. We let survivors of human trafficking to share the children's stories in their real voice, but from an avatar. And in that way, they can share and speak up, share the messages and speak up, but also keep their privacy and stay anonymous.
Yeah.
I was first groomed by my parents who sexually abused me. Then they would pass me around, and what would happen was
Thank you, Ron. And and this is just a glimpse, just the beginning of what we can do together using this AI with cross-sector collaboration. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Shiran. Amazing stuff. I'm familiar with it, and these kind of clips still move me. And like we said, this is kind of existing technology. It's only getting better. Let's hand it over to Efrat. The floor is yours. Can you share a bit about yourself, your work at Israel ALS?
Yeah, I'll try to make it short because I can talk days about it. So my name is Efrat. I'm the CEO of Israel ALS, which is the Israeli ALS Association. Our organization was established almost 20 years ago, and the primary goal was to promote ALS research in Israel. And on this field, we've done tremendously. When the organization was established, there was zero ALS research in Israel. And now we have a very active, fruitful field with research labs in the Israeli Academy and companies that are trying to develop a cure for ALS. So we've done our job on that part. Few years into this job, we started to support and care for the ALS community in Israel. The ALS community is about 600 ALS patients in Israel. We have 130 newly diagnosed patients every year. And we established a team of 4 social workers that we meet the patients immediately after they've been diagnosed, either in the clinics or they approach us via the internet. And we go with them hand by hand through their entire journey, a hard, difficult journey with ALS, with solutions, with advices, with knowledge, with updated information and everything they need to cope with the disease. And our third frontier is raising awareness to ALS. When I'm in the organization for the last 17 years, when I came, almost no one in Israel knew what ALS was, including myself. And today when I said, do you know what ALS is? They tell me, is there anyone in Israel that doesn't know what ALS? So yes, the answer is yes. There are people that don't know what ALS is, but we've done a tremendous job here in raising awareness. And awareness is a key to everything, to fundraising, to law changes, to everything. We need awareness, so we're investing a lot of time and effort in this area. And today the reality for ALS patients in Israel is totally different than 15, 20 years ago, when the key subject is that they are not alone. They do not have to invent the wheel all over again. They do not have to find their own solution. They have all the accurate, updated, true information with our team, with myself and my team, and we're very proud about that. That's in a nutshell.
Well, incredible work. We'll hear more about it as we go along. Sarah, let's turn things over to you. Can you kindly introduce yourself and your experience working with people with ALS and muscular dystrophy?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron. The ALS Hope Foundation was founded in 1999 by Dr. Terry Hyman Patterson and Dr. Jeffrey Deach, and it was founded with the basic goal of making a difference in the lives of people living with ALS MND. And the vision that Dr. Hyman Patterson had was to do that through care, education, and research. And I'm going to talk mostly about care. Dr. Hyman Patterson herself actually started one of the first ALS clinics, multidisciplinary ALS clinics in the United States in 1984. I joined in 1994. So I was there at the founding of the ALS Hope Foundation, and I've seen their commitment to assistive technology. In fact, you may have heard of some of Dr. Hyman Patterson's work with the brain-computer interfaces. The MDA ALS Center Hope is located at Temple University, which is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it is a true multidisciplinary clinic, just to talk about that for a minute. And that everyone who comes to our clinic will be seen by the entire team. There's the physical therapist, the occupational therapist, the speech language pathologist. Of course, there's a nurse, a doctor, a social worker, a respiratory therapist, a dietitian. We have research coordinators who come in. And this kind of clinic gives us the opportunity then to talk to people about what their needs are, what the issues are. Of course, we try and be very positive, and we try and let them know about different options that are out there. And we really try and educate ourselves as well. So as I mentioned, I've been the physical therapist since 1994. And as Efrat mentioned, there's been a lot of changes since then in the assistive technology and what's available. I started early on when I started, somebody asked me as a physical therapist how they could continue to use their computer with their hands, or how could they use it if they couldn't use their hands. And that's what took me on my assistive technology path. So I'd be able to answer people's questions about environmental control or communication or using your computer. So, you know, the perspective that I'm going to bring to this discussion is not the perspective of the person with lived experience, or not the engineers with this beautiful technology, but the person, the clinician who's in the clinic, who's trying to merge those two, trying to bridge the gap between the two. So if somebody's talking to us about, I mean, there's a lot of discussion in the clinic right now about AI, about avatars, about what this can do, what it can't do. And we want to be able to be educated. We want to be able to talk to the people we work with, and we want to be able to bring those two together. Because like I said, I've seen so many changes over the years, and we have been able to bring that to people.
Okay, we're gonna
kind of like
dive right into it. I just want to introduce, I want Levon to introduce yourself and your work at the Scott Morgan Foundation. Levon, take it away.
Hi, I definitely come from a different and I hope very complementary background. I am the CEO of the US entity of the Scott Morgan Foundation, which is UK based, very global in scope. I actually am going to date myself. I am an original founder to a top 10 most trafficked first generation 1.0 internet companies. I come from a long background of tech, and I know what it takes to scale a company, also investing, running a hedge fund. I went back to school, got an MFA, and I also come to you as a journalist. So I know the power of a very strong narrative, and both of those skill sets have really been helpful to me. And just to talk about our founder, Peter, a little bit, and we've been working with Avatar since 2018. And to my knowledge, Peter is the first person who ever used an avatar. And back then we were dealing with film studios, and they made a Channel 4 primetime documentary movie about Peter, which you can Google and look up, which is amazing. He wrote a book called Peter 2.0, and he was using an avatar. I think one of the stories I'm most proud of is he spoke to Parliament in the UK, fighting for disability rights, fighting for, as you brought up so importantly, Efrat. It's all about awareness. M&D, of course, in the UK, and leveraged that, brought a lot of relationships together. Unfortunately, he passed away about 1.5 years ago. And I would say one of the most amazing things about the foundation, I feel like the currency that we deal in, so to speak, we have so much talent coming from so many different places. Our CTO previously was a CTO at Lenovo. He's now at NVIDIA, where he is an engineer architecting some massive projects. We have the designer who designed our circular keyboard that maybe we'll talk more about later, who came from Accenture, and I can go on and on down the list with a lot of people. But I think what I'd really like to share is that the foundation believes communication is a universal human right. And we're leveraging AI to break down barriers faced by over 500 million people. This is the journalist in me speaking, who struggle with muscular and neurological conditions. We're very true to ALS MND because our founder had that. And we find that by focusing on ALS MND in terms of assistive tech, we solve the greatest range. I spend a huge amount of time, honestly, in big tech, convincing them that yes, there is a marketplace and that we should, every single computer device in the world should have an accessibility package. And I'd lastly say that through unprecedented collaborations with tech giants like Lenovo, NVIDIA, 11 Labs, DID, that we're creating integrated AI solutions that restore not just communication, but self-agency and identity. And our AI-driven solutions combine personalized avatars, voice synthesis, adaptive interfaces. We're doing a lot with large language models to ensure that people can express themselves authentically, to maintain their roles in family and professional life, and participate fully in society, regardless of limitation.
Amazing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much. And we'll dive a bit deeper and show some examples of that in just a bit. But Ifat, you and Israel S kind of started working with us through Shiran, like you said, about a year ago, and that was around fundraising. I mean, I'm guessing everybody on the panel is aware of the challenges there. Can you speak to that challenge and how maybe AI is helping there?
Yes, we started, I think it was more an awareness campaign than fundraising, but they always come together. And we started a campaign, about a year ago, just after we started the October 7th here and the big war, and we needed some complimentary fundraising, and we started a campaign, and Shiran contacted me and she said, I think we can upgrade your campaign. And I said, huh? I said, AI. I said, I'm not a techie person. I don't know what AI is. And then she told me about the avatar and she said, all you have to do is find one patient that wants to participate and I'll do the rest of it. I said, okay, I'm open to new ideas and why not? So I immediately had in mind this patient. Her name is Debbie. She's an amazing woman. I wanted to say girl because I know her since she was, she's been with ALS about 22 years. She's now 41. She was diagnosed when she was 19. She's the most incredible, beautiful, smart, and Shiran knows her. She's just, you cannot not fall in love with her immediately. And I said she loves tech and she will immediately agree. And she, of course, that's what happened. And Shiran told me, just send me one picture of her and I'll make the avatar and we'll have a short video that will boost up your campaign. So I'm talking to Debbie, and Debbie is a very competent assistive technology user. She uses eye gaze for many years. She writes as quick as all of us do on the keyboard, and she uses a voice generator. And actually, she calls it's her best friend, the voice generator. And she's very active. She's actually running her own nonprofit organization for girls at risk. She's really amazing. And I told her, just send me one picture of you, and Shiran will make us an avatar. And she sent me a picture and Shiran says, no, it's not good. She can't be smiling on the picture. And I'm telling Debbie, send me another one without smiling. And she sends me another one with a smile. You can't find this girl not smiling. It was the challenge was getting a non-smiling picture from her. She didn't have any in her pool of photos. So her husband said, don't smile now, don't smile, and took a picture. And then we made this video that you'll see in a minute. And we made few of those after that, but the reaction was amazing. When Debbie and her husband and her parents, her family saw the video first time, they were all crying. The emotional response was amazing because they haven't seen her talking for many, many, many years. She has no facial expressions at all other than smiling. and she loved it, they loved it, and she's using it. She can use it now when she gives talks to those girls at risk and other places. She gives lectures all the time, and we're working together to give her the tools to work live with your avatar. So we can see the.
Yeah, let's watch the video.
Yeah.
The first symptoms started appearing when I was 19 and a half. 6 months later, I was diagnosed as suffering from ALS. Even in my worst nightmares, I never imagined that at the age of 20, I'd be a victim of a rare and incurable disease. After the initial shock and grief, I decided to choose life and not allow the disease to define me or my abilities. Since then, I wake up every morning, get dressed, and ask myself, what excitement am I going to experience today? In my life's journey, despite the hardships and limitations, every day I choose anew to live.
So this is the short English version. We have a longer Hebrew version, and in our last gala event, we made a longer Hebrew version of her entire life story, and it was amazing because
The
it's
first
very
symptoms
important.
started appearing when I was 19.
It's very important to us as an organization to be advancing all the time with technology, to bring the cutting edge technology to the patients, to the benefit of the patients. And although this is not, it's not giving them the ability to talk, because she talked with her voice generator before, it's a new addition to the quality of life, to the emotional quality of life, and it really made a change to Debbie and other patients that are going to use it. So thank you, Shiran and the ID.
Absolutely. Maybe Sarah, maybe you can talk to us a bit about, you know, this ability to communicate, this ability to kind of be on, to connect with other people through synthetic voice, through avatars in the future. How is that a factor? Why is that crucial for people who suffer from ALS?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can see, wow, just sharing that. And I've seen that video before, and it's still so incredibly moving. And I think it really gives you hope. And I think that's what this is going to bring to people. Just to talk a little bit about communication, you know, as everyone here is way too aware of, you know, with ALS, you lose so much. ALS slowly takes away your ability to move, to speak, to communicate with people. So being able to bring this back, and people don't, you know, you talk about communication and what's important about a communication. People don't want to just say, I have an itch, you know, move my leg, or my shoulder hurts. They want to be able to communicate so much more. They want to talk about the changing color of the leaves. They want to talk about how their sports team is doing. So communication is more than just saying basic things. It's also, communication is also, what are things that somebody said, was it Lavon, about your authentic self? So they want to say, what are things that your mother always said to you? What is something that, you know, your kids say that maybe annoy you, but you want to hear again? So there's that piece of it too, that's making it, so now you've tweaked it, so now it's much more that person. And what links that person to you particularly? Maybe there's something that person only says to you, doesn't say to anyone else. And over these past 10 years, just to talk about the communication piece, we've seen amazing things happen in this space. As Efrat had mentioned, you know, people just using their phones now to do text to speech. So if you go to your coffee shop, your local coffee shop, and you can tell them what you want on your own, that 10 years ago, people weren't doing that. And now all the way up to these eye gaze devices and what they can do for speech, what they can do, you can drive your wheelchair with your eyes now. All the new technologies, they just keep growing, and they just keep, like, you're learning more about things every single day, about something that's that's come up. And then to add to the communication piece, the emotion piece, or the facial expression piece. I mean, how many times have you sent a text to someone and they've read the text and they've read it either wrong or didn't understand what you were trying to say? I mean, that's why emojis were invented, right? So that now you can add that little extra piece, that little more context to what you're saying. How many times have you have you conveyed something with your facial expression without even saying anything? People do that. Mothers do that a lot. So being able to add that as well. So now you're communicating. I think it's just very exciting to see you're saying the words. It can be in your own voice, which is very moving. John Costello, a colleague here in the United States, is doing a lot with the AI, making it the person's own voice that comes out of the device. I mean, speech generating devices are fantastic. And of
Yeah,
course,
that's one point I wanted to add, that this is not Debbie's real voice, because Debbie, she's been with ALS for so many years that when she lost her voice, the voice banking option wasn't there yet. So it's a synthesized voice, but if you can add on top of those facial movements, you can add your own voice, the reality experience is going to be much stronger.
I think, Levon, I think this is a
Absolutely.
great point for you to also to jump in, because the Scott Morgan Foundation is kind of deeply rooted in empowering individuals through technology, and I guess on steroids since AI entered the picture. We have our next video lined up. You want to kind of tell us what we're about to see?
Sure.
From Lenovo?
I just wanted to add a special shout out for John Costello too, who are working with to design most of these technologies. It's interesting, as somebody coming from a technology background, when I first tried to break apart and understand assistive technology, we have all these amazing technologies, and each one of them on their own is unique. I mean, today I'm at an airport as per usual, coming from the eye gaze tracking company. But it's when you put them all together and you get companies to collaborate, it's impossible to look away. So it's one thing, I'm traveling with a robotic wheelchair, the first to come to Europe. I'm traveling to introduce a DID avatar, coming with an 11 Labs voice for someone that got restored. And the eye tracking will be able to work with these things. So to take all of that and powerfully put it together, and while we remain tech agnostic as a foundation, good example is Lenovo. And just tell a really quick, small story leading into this. We had worked with Erin, who's 24 years old now. She was diagnosed at 23, and I couldn't help but think about what you're saying, Efrat, because this vivacious young woman, very lovely, smiling all the time, hates technology, doesn't want technology, is a botanist, and in fact would much rather be outside doing all of that. So how do you take technology and not make that an overpowering part of someone's life? And I remember the first time that I met DID, and I had been working with Joe Murphy, who's part of your company, and I took something to heart, and this speaks to what you're saying, Sarah. I'm a single mom, and I have a daughter Erin's age, and I remember that her mom said, Erin's smile is missing, and that smile is who she is. And she was very emotional. She said, I don't ever want to complain. And I came to DID and I said, how do we make sure, how can we get there with this technology to capture that? That leads into IMAR and Lenovo, who we came and discussed DID, the company's capabilities, and we look for situations that are win-wins, where you don't just come in talking about assistive tech. We talk about literally best in class technology in the world and what's unique about it. And there's an interesting segue. You're going to meet Imar, who is a father of 2 children that live in London, and he is in France. And we needed to create a way for him to be able to continue to remain connected to his kids. He's also connected to Erin, and all of this, it was possible to do with a lot of help from Lenovo and bringing all the partners in to work together. And I feel like the technology, the video, is going to say so much more than what I'm saying. But to what you're saying, Sarah, emojis, emotion, language between a mother and a daughter is completely different. I can look at my daughter, you're exactly right, and we know exactly where we stand, what's happening in the room if there's a problem. And this is such powerful technology. So to be able to go in and talk to a big tech company like Lenovo and get them interested and explain how powerful that is, I think we can all relate to being a daughter, a mother, a son, a father. And so I'll let you show the video and hopefully that will capture some of what I'm so passionate about.
All right, let me play it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you
Today,
are.
I can speak to my kids. I can sing them a lullaby. I can read them a story. And I can tell them I love them. But soon, ALS will take my voice.
The ability for us to sing lullabies and tell stories allows us to create an emotional connection with our loved ones.
ALS is a neurodegenerative disease that causes people to lose their motor function and ability to speak. Artificial intelligence is a game changer. When IMR wants to speak, he uses his eyes to select pre-selected words on a circular keyboard. He can then output those words using his own generated AI voice.
My avatar is almost as handsome as I am.
He can choose to hear and see his words spoken by a hyper-realistic avatar.
The giant woke up from his slumber and shouted, "Fee, fi, fo, fum." Jack started climbing down the beanstalk as fast as he could, and the giant chased him.
Our motivation for Smarter AI for All is to empower all of us to use the technology to make our worlds better.
Technology is my best hope. And with the advances of AI, I have a chance to sing happy birthday to my children for many years to come, and possibly even toast at their weddings.
Wow. And we have some footage of Aaron, who you mentioned earlier. So let's take a quick look at that as well.
Twinkle, twinkle, little.
Hi everyone, I'm Aaron's avatar. Thanks to DID's groundbreaking technology, my digital presence now captures so much more of who I am, including my smile, which I'm incredibly grateful for. It's amazing to think that my avatar and voice were created from just a short TikTok video, a testament to how far AI has come. When I was first diagnosed with ALS at 23, I never imagined technology could preserve my identity. ALS is a disease that gradually takes away a person's ability to move, speak, and eventually breathe. But it doesn't take away who we are inside. As a botanist turned ALS advocate, my world was never about technology. But now, DID's hyper-realistic avatar isn't just a digital version of me. It's a gateway to ensuring I can continue to be seen and heard as my condition progresses.
I'm just in terms of time, I don't want to play it all. And just to confirm that this is an avatar of Aaron created by DID, but the words are hers, right, Levon? That's
Definitely. No, and I appreciate you playing that, just even from the standpoint of, I thought what Sarah and Efrat both said, you know, emotion and really capturing who someone is so powerful. And it is such a pleasure and a privilege to be able to go in and work with these people who are advocates and talk to technology companies about who these people really are and what the technology itself can do. So for us, it's such a great example.
absolutely. And
I think that this is so realistic, and one of the biggest problems of ALS patients in the advanced stages of the disease, that people forget how human they were before. You know, you see the disease, you don't see the person that they used to be, and this can introduce the real person again to people that meet you. It's an amazing tool to still feel human within this locked body and soul.
Absolutely. No, Shan, you have another example, kind of about how this types of technology can kind of benefit people, you know, can let them continue their lives, and kind of be part of society, communities.
Yes, please do. I just want to say before it's those avatars are very realistic, and we see the advances of technology. So it's amazing. If we start with one image, now we can start with a video, and also to do the voice cloning of those people. I think it's very, very powerful. And with a system to express himself much better, to communicate with the family and the environment. So this is very, very important milestone and project of Lavon, and we can learn from that and see also the power of the collaboration. So I think we can see it in all those kind of projects. And I love to share what we did with David. It's another example. So David is a guy. No, this is not the video. You can see David picture.
No, something's
Okay, we can stay with this slide. So
Yeah.
David,
Oh, this is David.
yeah, before you see the video, so David told us, thank you. Thank you because you gave a voice to my thoughts. David is a guy from Hungary, and he's suffering from Duchenne muscular atrophy for more than 10 years, but he's trapped in his body. And thanks to the Gen AI technology, he started to create video and communicate in more human-like way with his families and friends, and even take it one step forward. And he established his TikTok account, and so far he have more than 1 million views on his videos. So let's share David video so he can share about his journey.
To muscular dystrophy, a guy from Budapest. Due to muscular dystrophy, I am completely bedridden, living my small life 24/7. I can practically only type with one finger using the on-screen keyboard. This is how I communicate with the outside world. Due to a throat operation, I also lost my ability to speak. It has been 10 years now that I've been trapped in my body. During this time, I had to start everything anew and accept my fate. However, I still found the greatness of life and the true values of things. I strive to inspire others. I feel this is my path, my mission, as life can be nothing short of wonderful. I want to convey this value to everyone. I made this little video using artificial intelligence to help me. My thoughts have been given a voice, which is an amazing feeling. Thanks to artificial intelligence and those who created it, a multitude of possibilities have opened up for me. I've started vlogging, creating short videos for TikTok.
So that was amazing, David. You see, this guy is full of inspiration. Also, he can share about his condition, about his disease, and increase awareness to what's happened to him. And now this creative young guy also created his avatar, Hollywood avatar style.
Hey everyone, I'm David, a 32-year-old from Budapest, and this is my AI avatar. I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which has left me completely bedridden and almost immobile. I type with one finger using an on-screen keyboard to communicate with the world. A tracheotomy.
Amazing.
He can choose how he wants to present himself. That's
exactly. So not just it started when he's lying in his bed, because his main images probably, but now we take it to a different and more creative world as well. So I think also we can see of David.
Hey everyone, I'm David.
About the different options that the people with Duchenne or ALS can express themselves. Also, it's not have to stay with their families and close friends. You can use these social media platforms, can be TikTok or Instagram, and share his story with the whole world. And as you can probably notice, this guy is full of inspiration. Like, he's trapped in his body, he cannot move. He just lie in his bed for more than 10 years, and we think this world is an amazing place. So he's full of inspiration. He can increase awareness about his disease, about his condition, to increase awareness among the public. And also another important thing, you can do it in the different languages. So if you can go inside his TikTok channel, most of the videos are in Hungarian, but we asked him, maybe you can create some more video in English so more people can enjoy and be exposed to this important content. So we started vlogging also in English, and this, I think, it's very, very powerful usage of the technology. Also, we saw it in Debbie video as well, as Efrat mentioned, right? So the original videos were in Hebrew, but now we also can create and share a story in English as well. So this technology is agnostic to the language, so it's become much more easy to spread the word and communicate with more people. So this guy became a local celeb in Hungary, and the media is really love his story and cover it. And now, thanks to Lavon and DAD, really want to help him and fulfill his dream, you know, and to be and share his story with the whole world. So thank you for all of you for this friendship and partnership. This is very, very important and powerful.
So, you know, well, we don't have a ton of time left, but we do have, I don't know, five more minutes. So I want to kind of open this up to a general discussion, I guess. Let's kind of look a bit into the future, around the table. If we're in 5 years from now, kind of, and taking into account this kind of the rapid pace of AI tools, how do you see this affecting people with these types of ailments? Whoever wants to start.
I'll jump
I
in.
wish it become the standard technology for ALS patients. You know, assistive technology, eye gaze was, it seems like, wow, 10, 15 years ago, and now it's the standard procedure. And if we look forward, I hope this will be the regular one. In the minute they're diagnosed, they record their voice, they make an avatar, and they know where it's going, and they have it ready for the day they need it. And it's not such a big thing, and this is the regular way to communicate. I don't know if it's going to happen, but this is my wish.
I agree with Efrat. I like that wish, and especially sometimes with the rapid pace of ALS, is we want to be able to start quickly and have it available.
I would just add to that, you know, it's interesting, this inflection that we're at and the acceleration and how fast things are going, how quickly the movement is, and where we think a chatbot today is something new and, you know, even questionable. I believe we'll all have chatbots. Not only will we have chatbots and digital assistants, I think what we take for granted, that patients with ALS and people that are living with disability are going to leverage and be able to show the world AI for good, we'll all have. And to give you a tiny example, you know, when I come in and I speak to big tech, I talk about it's not the 1 in 4 of us that will have a disability in our lifetime. It's the 100% of us that age into some form of disability. And as an example, I think about a Lenovo employee who lost her voice due to a vocal cord issue that also fortunately came back. And we gave her an avatar and a voice from DID so she could attend meetings. And I believe we'll all get to a place where I can sit across from you, Efrat, and I can speak in English and you'll hear me in Hebrew. I believe they will be speaking in Hebrew and I'll understand in English. And I see that happening more and more, and we're, you know, doing it in different applications, but I think it'll be mainstream. And I think a lot of the things that, you know, seem far out. And I go back to Peter, you know, who had this vision from day one, who has a background in robotics and AI, is just that these technologies will be streamlined to make our life easy. We won't be logging into things. We won't be touching things. We won't having learning curves. I can tell you some of the things I use now, I just speak. And I think we'll speak, whether that is a synthetic voice and we need help, or it's just our everyday voice, and we will be living immersed in that world. So hopefully that answers a little bit from my end, from a tech point of view.
Now we are just about out of time, so I want to give everybody an opportunity to kind of tell the audience where they can follow you, what you're doing, if you're looking for contribution or help of any kind, where can people reach you? Let's start. Efat?
Oh, we're all over the place in Hebrew. You can find us Israelis, it's ISRALS, Facebook, Instagram, we have a website. We always need contribution. We always looking for partnerships, collaborations. We realize that we're a very small organization in a very small country, and in order to conquer the world, we need to collaborate with the big ones out there. So Levon, it's a new beginning for us, and the idea is it's an old collaboration now, and the more the merrier. So just reach out to me, and I'll be happy to do anything together.
Sarah?
Would just repeat exactly what Efrat said, only ALS Hope Foundation, and we're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but we're always looking to collaborate and always looking to help move things forward.
And we've done some beautiful collaborations in the past together.
Yes, we have.
Levon, what about the foundation?
So definitely visit the website. I think you'll really appreciate the videos that are up there, the avatars. And now that you hear the airport in the background, you understand that I am in the room to talk to you, which hopefully I'll stop in a second. When you're on the website, everything's there from all the social media channels, but you will also see that Peter wrote the book that I talked about, Peter 2.0. You can Google, you can find it on our website. And you can get a link to the documentary that he made. And I have to tell you, it's a really exciting time to be a part of a foundation where people thought he was crazy back in 2018. And I don't think there's anything that's not in that book that's not happening today. And I just wanted to add, lastly, I feel exactly the same way. I look forward to collaborating with all of you. And I cannot thank DID enough. I think we all, the three women on here, look like rock stars everywhere we go because we know we have the world's best technology and access to it, and we get a chance to show it off. And it's just a pleasure and a privilege to be with you and to show that to the world. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I meant to say. You said it better.
We're all together. So
thank you so much. And Shiran, if people want to reach out to you, collaborate on one of the products or one of the projects you shared or future projects.
I love to chat with everyone, to do some brainstorm if you have any new initiative and thoughts. You can find me on the generativeaiforgood.com, also among the DAD team as well. And another thought before we will end, it's about the ethical side, ethical part of all of this. So a few thoughts that from my experience in those kind of projects, it's very important to be transparent, that people will understand that this is AI avatar. The second one is the consent of the person that to be part of those kind of projects, and then also that it's really reflects his words, his content, and all of this. And this came out because some organization also reached out to me and they were very impressed what we did with Debbie and Israelis and also want to collaborate. However, their patients don't have the same cognitive condition as people with ALS or Duchenne and all of this. They don't have the disease affected their cognitive situation. So in those kind of projects, it's become more complicated. It's very important also to share the messages, let those people to express themselves. However, we need to be very, very sensitive because their cognitive condition is a bit affected. So also just keep in mind when we are doing those kind of collaboration and great product, because really can change the world and really affect people and improve people's life globally. So this was my 2 cents about ethical AI in these aspects.
No, very, very important notes, and we agree wholeheartedly. Guys, we could carry on, I think, for a long time, but we are out of time. So I want to thank you all for joining, all the panelists. I want to thank everybody who attended and listened and watched. If you have any other questions, want to follow up on anything, DID is available also on all social media channels, or you can email me or Shiran. Yeah, I think we learned a lot. I think it was emotional, kind of as forewarned. So thanks everybody for taking part, and catch us on upcoming webinars, and we'll be announcing other news kind of in this space as well very soon. So thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great rest
you.
of the day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.